Fade in. Interior. A fancy Hollywood office. Werner Herzog sits resplendent across from an important-looking executive. Werner, thank you so much for taking this meeting today. My secretary said that you had a pitch for a new movie, which we're all very excited about, but she said that it was a romantic comedy?
Yeah, it's a romantic comedy. Yeah.
But please, we'd love to hear about it.
Well, I wanted to start the film, if possible, in 9mm, black and white. The woman is centralized character. She feels like the empty chamber pot. Yes, the urinal after her lover abandons her.
Oh, so it starts with a breakup.
Yeah. And she lives out her life afterwards in a wax museum where she decides to surround herself. She breaks away from all of that and she goes and lives in the nature to surround herself with life and laughter.
That's beautiful, Werner. What does she do?
Well, after a short time in the woods, she becomes a stand-up prop comic and during her rehearsal period, she lives in her lover's clothes.
So she does gigs as a stand-up prop comic.
Yeah, she will be a stand-up prop comic. I have designed some things with some very laborious hours in the Museum of Munich with some art students, and we have come up with a number of props for her to use. But some of them are quite. They're going to look quite well on the screen.
Please, what's one of her bits?
Well, there's going to be one where she has a life-size carving of the Virgin Mary, and it will be made out of earwax, or made to look like it's made out of earwax. And through her, what is the word for the womb suit? The womb suit, where the babies come from.
Her fallopian tubes, her uterus.
Uterus, yeah. Her uterus will shoot with the aid of a water pistol from the back. It will shoot like a Kool-Aid, like a cherry Kool-Aid all over the audience. And I think it will. And like I'm wanting to use the new technologies. What have the I want to use where only the color of the blood, red menstrual blood, will show.
Sin City. It's like a Sin City.
Yeah.
So 35 or 9mm black and white.
Yeah.
Jets of menstrual blood.
Yeah.
Werner, thanks for coming in.
Of course.
Fiend. Welcome, our happy, shining cultists, our frog people of Nerdsmith, our shining servants of the Bible Black, to another spine-tingling edition of Alan Moore's Porch. I am Jay Partridge III. I cry during French horror films. With me, as always, is my even star of a co-host. He's truer than the North Star, Rocky Turner.
Hello, my name is Rocky Turner. My qualification is I have developed a rather unique theory on the life and career of David Cronenberg, which we might talk about later.
He has a thesis, a literal okay, like an actual academic thesis.
I could write and probably get a doctorate based on.
If I went to college, I would want to steal this idea from you. It's so I genuinely want to bring it up, just because we have to hermetically seal this somewhere. We have to get this on.
We have to make sure that America knows that this was our idea.
This was our one thing. This will get us in the frick. You heard it during the opening sketch, which is the first of many, Shoggoth Mystery Theater. But I was having to chomp on the end of my pen from laughing because of Matt's. You guys can't see it out in podcast land, but he was actually doing a hunch.
I hunched over. I was doing a character.
It was amazing. So jumping right into it, episode 3, part 2. the return, the beginning sometimes in some cases. Usually that's the third one. Usually that's the third one.
Yeah.
But no, this is our foreign horror extravaganza. Our good friend of the show, Alex Larson. He suggested that we do horror themed, and when we said that was too much, it was too mammoth, it was too hard of a subject to tackle in but 1 hour and like 20 minutes. Like it wasn't quite an hour and a half, but it's still fairly long. We're still toying with what is the actual limit you guys will listen to us during these episodes. But you know what? We're the creatives. You're just the audience. Deal with it.
Yeah.
No, he said we should split up the episodes, so we did that. Last episode was American Horror. Thank you for the listens and the downloads. Like we said, we're slobberingly grateful for you, our loving audience. But which you can also because it's the beginning of the show and we haven't been properly whored yet. You can follow us on Twitter at Alan Moore's Porch, all one word, and you can. We live tweet during the show, which we have been. We take questions at our Twitter page and our email address, which is alanmooresporch@gmail.com. I keep stepping all over your shit, dude. I know that like you keep trying to look like you're gonna say something, and I just keep fucking talking.
I'm just trying to figure out, or like I'm wanting to make sure that my voice is coming through. You know. Like, I don't want to be
You can get to the people. You can get directly to the people.
But, no, like, I have nothing. I'm too busy focused on
I'm doing all this goofy host bullshit, and you look like you're starting to...
I'm Paul. I'll just...
You'll wear a super smart salmon suit.
Justin's tie. Yeah,
I put on a nicer shirt for today's. I put on like a flowered, or it's not flowery, but it's got balloons. I put on like a very.
He's wearing a shirt that has
impish,
two panda bears blowing each other.
It's my WWF shirt. They got it. I gave $20 to the Federation. They gave me the panda blowing shirt. It's great. But no, okay, going into another staple of the show, our offerings to the snake god. This is a thing that we do at the top of the show to give you a little taste of what we're going to be either talking about the episode or stuff that you should be very aware of. This basically, I said on Twitter earlier, this is basically just a giant fan wank for all the shit that I didn't talk about in the last episode. Because I went back, I was looking over the notes and shit, and I was like, oh god damn, I didn't get to half of like all this really cool stuff I wanted to talk about. First thing I wanted to talk about is a book called John Dies at the End by David Wong. David Wong is the nom de plume of a dude. I can't remember his actual name, but he writes for Cracked. He's one of the head writers for Cracked, and he wrote this novel that kind of it had a groundswell of like indie support when he kind of self-published, and then it got on a really indie
kick.
Yeah, I got on. It was published by an indie horror. You know, like when you read Fangoria and they have like the shit where you can buy or the ads of the back of it.
It's like, hey, buy this book.
Yeah, that happened with this book, and it got super popular. And Don Castigliari, director of Phantasm, Bubba Hotep, he read the book and he thought it was incredible, and so he got it public. He did it. He brought it to the mainstream. It was great, and it's an incredible book. It's the funniest horror novel I've ever read. It scares the shit out of me. There are legitimately very scary things that happen in the book, but they'll scare the piss out of you and then tell 9 jokes afterwards.
Nice.
Oh god damn it! It's so funny. It's about these two guys.
People did the book.
Basically, that's basically it. It
scares the living shit out of you and gives you a
it's these two guys, John and David, and they're both fuck-ups. They're both like perennial fuck-ups, and they stumble upon this demon invasion of the Earth. And they're the only ones that can stop it, and it's so great.
For sure.
It's the movie's coming out soon. Don Castigliari
because I saw a trailer for it like fucking months ago.
It got shelved for a while. It made the festival circuit, but it finally got a distributor, and it's finally on its way to video on demand in December, and I think it's gonna have a short theatrical run after that.
Sweet.
And I cannot fucking wait to see it. The book is incredible, and I'm sure the movie will be just as great. Second offering to the snake god that we have is a little comic book called Rot World, which is the we talked a bit about in episode 1 about the New 52 and my abhorrent attitude towards it. There are some books in it that are really incredible and are very much worth your time, and Swamp Thing and Animal Man. Swamp Thing is being written by Scott Snyder and has art by I'm literally now flipping through Swamp Thing. Marco Rudy is doing the pencils on Swamp Thing, and Animal Man is Jeff Lemire, and yet another fucking comic book writer that I'm just slaughtering their goddamn name. I think it's Jeff Lemire. I'm pretty sure it's Jeff Lemire. Yeah. Jeff Lemire and Steve Pugh on pencils. This is, it's starting in issue 12, Rot World is. It's this giant, Animal Man and Swamp Thing have been some of the standout books of the New 52, and they've been leading up to this big crossover event, which is Rot World, which is, basically Swamp Thing being the avatar of the green, Animal Man being the avatar of the red, are coming together to fight this thing called the Rot, which is this cancer, this demonic cancer that is starting to eat away at both the green and the red, and it's every bit as insane as it sounds like.
You literally sound like a crazy person.
God damn it, it's so good. It's candy. And Swamp Thing and Animal Man have been incredible horror books from the beginning. Like, the issue 1 of both of them hit the fucking ground running, and they have not stopped.
Yeah.
And I am beyond excited for the continuation of Rot World. Parts 1 and 2 of the epilogue in Animal Man number 12 and Swamp Thing number 12 are on shelves now. Animal Man Volume 1, The Hunt, which is the first 5 or 6 issues, I believe. And Swamp Thing, Raise Dim Bones, which is the title. The title alone is just great. Which collects issues 1 through 6, I believe, are also on shelves now. If you like comic books, there's no fucking reason that you shouldn't be reading this series. The third and final offering the Snake God that I have is a movie that we didn't talk about in the last episode, and that's a fucking crime that we didn't. It's Lucky McKee's The Woman.
Christ.
It's an incredible horror film, and it's another one of those ones that I wouldn't quantify as a horror film. It's just fucked up. It's just a super staunch fucked up drama.
His other one, the
May?
No, not May. Bug or whatever. What was it called?
His Masters of Horror thing?
Yeah.
Sick Girl?
Was it Sick Girl where she like had bugs coming out of her?
I didn't see it. Because you watched it.
I watched it, and it had one of those chicks that like is super huge in the B-movie circuit. Because
she's in Lust for Vampires! Yeah, she's in Lust for Dracula!
She's in Lust for Dracula.
Oh, god damn it. Should we talk about
Misty Monday.
Yes!
Misty Monday.
Should we talk about Lust for Dracula for a bit?
Yeah, fuck it.
We should talk about... we'll get on tangent for a bit.
There's a group of people... There's a production company, Shakorama. They're American. That'll be my shout-out. That'll be your...
I'll
shut up to
let me wrap up here, and then we'll get to yours. So it's Lucky McKee's The Woman. It's his new movie. It was written in conjunction with Jack Ketchum, the guy who wrote Red, and oh god damn it, I've seen it, The Lost, which is another incredibly fucked up movie. He's a horror writer, and he's really dense. This movie's incredible. It's a visceral, terrifying experience into the psyche of a suburban man.
That was the thing that was like super. You had this woman, like this feral woman, and like she was like animalistic and crazy, and like that was like the least scary part.
It's the least crazy part of that movie. For those who don't know, Lucky McKee's The Woman is about a man and who finds a feral woman while hunting, and then decides that he's going to take her home to his family and civilize her. That's it. That's the entire fucking concept of the movie.
The synopsis.
That's it. But yeah, the idea or the fact that she's a feral woman, like running around in the forest and like killing wolves and stuff and and bathing in is like the least crazy thing compared to this dude thinking that he can do this, and it's just
and the application in which
God damn it, it's horrifying. I tried to not to spoil it or get into it really heavily because it's just an incredible movie, and I want Rocky to talk about Lust for Dracula. So Rocky, please take it away.
Okay, my shout out would be for. It's kind of a two-parter that's inclusive. It's Lust for Dracula and Shaka-Rama. Shaka-Rama is a production company based out of that area of California.
The San Fernando Valley.
Basically, it's that dirty crack between the porn industry and
it's
like,
where
legitimate.
It's where Pesci hides the bodies, basically.
Yeah, it's not quite smut, but it's like it ain't really fucking movies. They make the first 4 times I tried to watch Lust for Dracula, I stopped within 20 minutes because it was so fucking horrible that I was like, I can't know. And the only way I got all the way through that goddamn movie is I literally wrote notes. I took notes.
I've seen these notes. These notes are incredible. They're like a John Doe 7 notebook of how shitty this movie is.
It's like I literally put it was 4 pages front and fucking back of notes, and I have small handwriting, and it's like pages of notes about what I would do to make this movie better. And I'm still thinking about sending them,
giving those script notes,
typing them up and then sending it to them, because I honestly admire the living shit out of what they're trying to do. They're trying to make shitty B movies, but they're just god awful,
taking it way too seriously. I don't even. Yes, I have. I've gotten through it once. I've watched it once, all the way through.
It's a damn hard film to watch.
It really is.
Because
it's even, it's, in my, this is kind of embarrassing, but I think it's funny. When I first started living here, in the Riley bunker in which we record this out of, I didn't have internet, and I didn't have any porn.
Yeah.
So I just had that.
Yeah,
but it's the saddest stroke material in the world. Because
it's just confusing.
It's vaguely sexual, but nothing ever really happens.
He means vaguely sexual in the fact that every character in it is female and they're always naked.
They constantly have their tits out.
No. Dracula's naked the whole fucking movie. She doesn't wear Dracula's a she.
Jonathan Harker's a she.
She fucks her wife in the ass with a strap on.
Yeah. That you don't see. You don't see. There's no penetration. See
it, but
it's like a weird. It's a Cinemax movie with a kind of with an artful director behind it, somebody that's someone that's really you know what, we're making a movie, and they give him a Skinemax budget
because there's parts where they're trying to be symbolic and there's dreamscapes. But,
this is a movie to these people.
These people are making something. You don't make something, you just fucking shoot it.
It's incredibly shitty.
And
it's a new level of shitty.
But, all my complaints were just director-wise. I don't care that they can't fucking act, because they can't. Director and script, that's literally... And, because the beginning was, some fucking, it sounded like...
it's a lot of cross-cutting.
No, I mean, yeah, that quick cross-cutting makes you sick. But the fucking music for it sounds like it's from fucking Zelda.
It sounds like a 90s wave file. It's a goofy... It's awful.
It's terrible. It's a god-awful movie. Give these people your money in the hopes that I'll one day direct
their
movies.
The real tragedy, I think, or not tragedy, but I think the real charm in Shaka-Rama is that the fact that this ain't their first rodeo. No, they got a canon.
They got 60 fucking movies.
They're like Trauma, but not entertaining. They're like Trauma, but not entertaining.
They've got these motherfuckers on file.
Because there's an insert in the DVD.
There's posters. There's
all sorts of swag you can buy.
all sorts of shit.
Shakorama.com, or I'm assuming.
Just fucking go.
I think that's their. I think that's their thing. Do you want some water, buddy? Do you want some? Yeah. It's Matt has just gotten up in the middle of the. Hey, there should be some cups or something.
Oh fuck! I'm just.
Here, kid, do your other. This has gone completely off the rails. Do your other offering to the snake out, and I'll fix you a glass of water.
What's my other offering?
We talked about Jesus. At the beginning of the.
I've got a short attention
before we even started the show. No, Final Crisis, Grant Morrison.
Final Crisis. Oh yeah.
Jesus God, do I have to do everything?
I fucking forgot.
Ah, God damn it.
Okay, so my other shout out is for. We had talked about doing a Morrison episode, which will be coming
vaguely soon.
We don't know when, but I admitted that I hadn't seen or I hadn't read too much of Morrison's work. So I had Final Crisis, just never read it. So I started reading Final Crisis just the other day, and gee golly, until I got to the middle part where it's the Superman kind of sub story, I literally had no fucking clue what was going on. I could kind of get it, but all of it was kind of dust in the wind. And I was telling Mr. Partridge here that Morrison writes like a maniac. Morrison writes like, and Justin said it very well.
Now that I'm back from,
I don't know if he paraphrased
serving Mr.
else.
Wells his drink.
Vintage
dated. Is this we rolling?
Are we rolling?
This cannot. You've already broken protocol and tried to go. We can't degenerate into Orson Welles jokes.
Hodgepodge.
But yeah, Morrison. There's a great quote where I can't remember who said it, but somebody said that he writes comic books as if he actually lived in them.
Mm.
And Final Crisis is.
Well, and you told me you were like, Morrison writes not like he's insulting you, but he doesn't understand that you don't know all the crazy shit he knows about comics.
Yeah, he writes because he has an arcane encyclopic knowledge. Encyclopedic?
Yeah.
Encyclopic, I think sounds better. That's a great word. I'm writing that fucking down.
Yeah.
But no, he does. He has this vast knowledge of comic books. And that's the way he's always written comics. He just thinks that's the way that comics are written because that's the way that he experienced them. Yeah. I'm gonna let you borrow it. His book is because it'll give you a huge fucking insight into Morrison. But yeah, he doesn't understand that you don't know
all this shit that he.
Because I quite enjoy his comic books, but there's certain sites run like annotations on his books, and I'll read them and be like, oh yeah, this is really great. Like I'll read it and think like, oh, this is a really great Batman story, and then I'll look at these annotations and there's just fucking all sorts of just shit that he's called back from his own comic books, from comic books in the fucking the 70s, 60s, all the way back to the 40s. It's just little subversions of continuity. Just he's an alien. There's no he's either an alien or a god. There's no possible way that he's a human being. I don't understand that a sperm fertilized an egg to make Grant Morrison. That had to have happened in a lab. That didn't happen naturally.
I was on my way here, and a Dylan song came on. And I was like, because he's like, little Minnesota town. And I was like, he grew up in Minnesota. That's where Dylan's from.
Yeah.
Where in the
Not Morse.
Where in the fuck in Minnesota did Bob Dylan crawl from?
It's so nuts to me.
Because I could picture him coming from, Missouri, or, some shitty port town in, New Orleans or something. Mm-hmm. No, Minnesota. Windswept.
Barren, Steinbeck country.
Okay, into the actual show.
Okay, the episode. Jesus
How
Christ.
far are we in?
We're only like 24. We're fine.
Okay.
We're good. We're completely fine. That's a solid intro.
Yeah, that's
in the podcast community. Eat shit, Nerdist. I love the Nerdist. I think it's great. I don't because I don't want a bunch of people on Tumblr be like, "Fuck that guy." We're not ever. We never listened to his show before. We're never ever gonna listen again. So foreign horror. I've literally in my notes I've separated it into like
regional
principality. Yeah.
I did.
But we had to keep censoring ourselves last episode. And we're not saying that American horror is less than foreign horror. It's just that
it's two different kinds. Oranges and apples.
And the
two different kinds.
Foreign horrors. Yeah, I followed you. They did too. Foreign horror in itself, it occupies more of a dramatic
like
feeling.
A storytelling.
Yeah. Like it almost is like.
It's not a show.
I mean, there are some exceptions which we'll talk about. But it's like it's
a story first and a horror movie.
Yeah,
second.
like they lean less towards the exploitive nature of American horror and really try to generate a stylish, compelling, emotional story.
Yeah.
Let's start on our tour of chillers with the Italians, just solely because I watched Suspiria recently, and the three ones that I really wanted to touch on are Argento, Bava, and Fulci.
Yeah.
Let's start with Bava because just chronologically, Bava kind of comes first, and.
Yeah, I thumbed through this the other day.
We're talking about for those who don't know Mario and Lamberto Bava. The main ones that we're probably going to be discussing here are probably Black Sunday and Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
Those and Jesus, Black Sunday. I just remembered Black Sunday. Have you ever seen Black Sunday?
I haven't.
Jesus Christ, Black Sunday was one of his first. Major motion pictures, and it's about a witch, and it opens. There's this incredible opening sequence where they're burning her at the stake, and she's cursing them all. But before they burn her at the stake, they put the Iron Maid or the mask, the mask of Castigliago or whatever. I don't know. It's spikes on the thing, but it was also it was super. I don't want to say controversial, but it was super ahead of its time. God damn it! I'm trying to
find the right word.
Yeah.
It was
because blood spurted out of it. It's black and white, but blood was coursing through this mask because they put the mask on, and she's struggling, and you see a POV of the mask like going on, and the mask goes on, and she's still like, I will come back and curse the blah, blah. And then you just see this like the big executioner just whips this fucking this giant sledgehammer, and it goes bang, and it goes into her face, and blood starts coursing out. It's like a really rudimentary stage effect, but it's so. Like it kind
in your face.
But yeah,
for that time though,
and it looking black and white, you can't because if Bava later in his career, along with a lot of and I find this is a staple of Italian horror, but I'll come back to it in a second. The blood kind of looks like very brackish and very gray, but it's such a jarring image, and that begins the film. And it's just this moody kind of impeccably designed story about a witch. It's really incredible. Black Sabbath too. I really enjoyed the.
See, I haven't seen fucking either of them.
Anthology. We watched that anthology movie, didn't we? It's Black Sabbath. The one with Karloff. We watched that.
Oh wait, yeah.
It's the three story. It's like the ghost story, the slasher story, and then and Karloff is the one to go.
The Weaver of Tales.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, God damn it! It's such a great movie.
No, I love the fact that like Italian horror kind of, because I looked it up the other day, and like they were super like thriller obsessed, like Psycho, like Giallo, and that's kind of where all of their kind of horror stemmed from. Into
Argento, and there's something I wanted to bring up with you. Do you think Italians, just sitting here thinking about it and thinking about just Suspiria from a design aspect, lighting set is gorgeous. Yes, lighting set sound is gorgeous.
Yeah,
and that seems to be a kind of a mainstay of Italian horror, is like a very
hyper design.
Yeah, and even some of the like, not, I don't want to say the baser ones or some of the lower brow ones, but some of like Cat of Nine Tails.
They've all got like a style to them.
Yeah,
like it's a defined.
You can immediately put on an Italian horror movie and know you're watching an Italian horror movie.
Yeah, I think because like I mean, you know, it might echo back to like the Medici's, the old families of Italy, like the during the what was the family?
Medici's, wasn't it?
The Medici's.
The other one.
I'm trying to think of the one that they in The Third Man, when he's like in Italy they had the.
Oh, god damn it! Oh, you had to mention that, but no, I just
I think it because like back in those, you know, they had like super stylized palaces, they had grandiose, you know, everything was put on for airs, just look nice,
and plus just the this is a stretch in showing just how much of a theater fag I am, but like Commedia dell'arte, like it's a very
that was immediately.
God damn it! I because I had the thought and I was like, I don't want to fucking say it because I'll be like, he'll call me a fag, and I'll be a fag. We're using the South Park definition of faggot, by the way.
Yeah. Neither comedy nor art.
God damn it! I love I think Commedia dell'arte is great. But like but still, it's a very stylized, kind of very showy.
Yeah.
And I know that like that's an odd dot to connect for horror films, but I just feel like there's always an emphasis on
style,
mood, and look of the film, because just watching Suspiria the other day, that movie is made on a different fucking planet.
Yeah.
Just the opening scene alone, he assaults you with color. Like it's just a shot of.
Yeah.
Oh god, I can't even remember her name, but she's walking down. She's walking.
The airport.
She's walking out of the airport, and you only see like white, yellow, red, blue. It's just very stark. It's just like, here's my color palette, and it's basically just him laying out like this will echo throughout. This is movie. Everything. Every color that I'm using, every stark light that you're seeing right now will be utilized through the entire film. I also love Italian. This is gonna sound really scary, or like goofy, or not goofy, but kind of like psychopath.
Weird.
I fucking love the way Italians render blood. Because it's super fucking red, like it's like a poppy, like
real bright.
It's amazing to me.
It's
fake, like it's so fake, but I find it so endearing.
It's like, because like when I first watched, I forgot what it was, but I watched one of them, and it literally looked like someone added a little bit more food coloring to Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah,
and just went blah.
Oh, it's so awesome. Have you seen Fulci's Zombie? The prequel to Dawn of the Dead.
No.
It's an Italian zombie movie. It's the one. It's super famous because a zombie fights a shark. And it's great. I mean, it's great. I mean,
a zombie fight shark.
It's more than that, but that's always the main thing. And even like that's a very grungy, very gore-filled movie, but like the blood in that movie is so shockingly red that it's oh my god, demons! We ain't even talking about demons. I just looked down at Barva's name. We haven't talked about demons. Talking about fucking gore. Those are the movies that I was talking about that have kind of like a lesser base they're like a gritty sort of style. They almost remind me of like a super talented art school.
Yeah.
Like just someone like making like
look,
a super fucking hardcore, but it still looked really cool.
Yeah, they look like something that somebody made in their fourth year at film school.
Yeah, God damn it, Demons is such a great movie. I haven't seen Demons 2, but apparently it's the exact same movie, just in a different location. Instead of it being in a theater, it's in a apartment building, and it's like the same fucking cast. It's everyone from the first movie.
Second verse.
Yeah, and it's apparently it's just as great, and I would imagine that it would be, because Demons 1 is candy, like it's a ball. And I can't imagine it's the same. It'd be great, right?
Which way do you want to go? Do you want to go? How about we go?
I'll let you pick, because I looked down at one. I almost said it. I'll let you pick this next one.
We should go. I think we'll go to
geographically. Or are you trying to move geographically?
Yeah.
We don't have a globe.
I think we should move. I'm going to move because there's only one name I've got for where I'm going to go next.
Uh-huh.
So we can just touch down and move on.
Yeah.
Spain. Jess Franco.
Oh, god damn it! I didn't even think about Spain.
I don't know if, because Jess Franco, it was more of an exploitation.
Oh, god damn it! They're still great movies.
Than horror, but they did have a fuckload of just super weird,
all
scary.
Great movies.
And I literally have only seen 2 Jess Franco movies, and I when I found out who Jess Franco was, I was like, this is who I want to be when I grow up. I want him because he
really is a god.
He's super, and the fact that
he's a god or he's someone who's figured out his niche and he's just gonna ride it to the fucking grave.
He's the cake of filmmakers. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
He just keep turning out the same product and it's quality.
Because he said, he's super unapologetic about the fact that he doesn't make very good movies. He's like, I don't care that these aren't good. I make what... He's like, I want to see tits, blood, and action in a fucking movie. I'll film it. He basically said that one. I'm not super paraphrasing, but he was like, I don't care. He's like, I want to see this shit in a movie. I want to film it.
Give the audience a short primer on Jess Franco.
What his...
Yeah, give a couple highlights.
Highlights of Jess Franco. Jess Franco, I'm trying to think, there was the island of... There was
1,000 Sorrows
prison,
or something.
Prison women.
Because we stumbled upon a treasure trove of Jess Franco movies on Netflix.
He did the big ones Frankenstein. He did
Did you do Dracula?
He did Count Dracula. I'm looking.
Who was in his Dracula? Somebody super screwy was in his Dracula.
And the thing that killed me about his Dracula movie is that his Dracula had a huge
handlebar mustache.
Christopher Lee! I'm pretty sure it was Christopher Lee.
With a handlebar mustache? How are we not watching this movie right fucking now?
It's so fucking hard to find.
No one wants to put it.
Nobody wants these fucking movies. I'm gonna run through real quick. He did Venus and Furs. That's the one I've seen. It was Isn't
that a lesbian?
No, it was just super...
Because we stumbled upon a bunch of those movies on Netflix.
It was super smutty. It was it was like a stripper, but I don't know. It's fucking weird. There was Count Dracula, Vampiros Lesbos.
Which is a title you could take to the bank.
Yeah.
That movie wrote you a check, and it's probably going to cash the piss out of it.
I'm just going to hyper read through some of these just to give you a taste. This will just give you
of what he does.
Vampiros Lesbos, She Killed in Ecstasy, The Devil Came from Akasava, The Death Avenger of Soho, X312 Flight to Hell, The Revenge of Dr. Mabuse, Virgin Report, Dracula vs. Frankenstein, The Virgin Among the Living Dead, Lover of Devil's Island, Daughter of Dracula, The Curse of Frankenstein, Diary of a Nymphomaniac, Dolls for Sale, The Captain of 15 Years, Silence of the Grave, The Sinister Eyes of Dr. Orloff, Mystery of the Red Castle. I could keep going!
Quality.
He's got like over 100 titles.
he nary a miss among them.
Oh my God,
there's something so beautiful about a man who committed his life to doing that.
I want to go up because I want to see. Because it has somewhere Oasis of the Zombies. I'm trying to find... Because I saw somewhere where they had all of his... Like, every movie that... Like, however many movies he's done. Like, they were like, this is how many movies that he's done. And he's directed, like... I want to say over 100. And of those 100, of those like 80, let's just say 84. Out of those 84, he's written and directed and produced like 78 of them.
He's the Woody Allen of shitball Spanish horror movies. Yeah. God, that's so beautiful.
It's so great.
That's amazing to me.
He's who I want to be when I grow up.
Okay, so going from Spain, once again, I don't have a map in front of me.
We can move north to Britain.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of goes into the same vein as Jess Franco. And then after that, we can jump over to the Weird Islands.
We still haven't talked about France yet.
Okay,
let's talk about Hammer.
Because, geographically, we can jump straight up to...
Okay, let's talk about the French for a second. The French
are crazy.
Seem to really want to go for both your heart and throat at the exact same time when they make a movie.
Yeah.
Some of them are... Because there's some... God damn it. I get what you're saying. The French... Because I've watched a few French movies. And if you haven't watched a French horror film, it's really hard to describe a French horror film. Because it's tremendously unnerving. Oh God, yes.
They're all tremendously unnerving. And it's almost like, I don't know if they even play music. Because every moment you're just hanging on for a big scare.
Yeah.
And sometimes it never even comes. Like, it's just a constant build-up to, like, the most horrifying things that have ever been
And
filmed.
It seems also, this also, to talk about more theater, could go back to Grand Guignol. Because, like, I've noticed that French horror films don't ever at any point in time not shy away from the most vile gore and viscera that they could possibly show you.
Yeah.
Because, like, High Tension is a great example of just it's a really dirty, gritty film, but it's beautiful. There are scenes in that movie that are genuinely beautiful and emotionally arresting to watch. But there's also a scene where a dude pops another dude's head off with a chest of drawers.
Yeah.
And there's another scene where a dude is shown off screen fucking a severed human head and then tossing it out of the window of his shanty truck.
Yeah, out of his
kill van. High Tension is a really good example of a super... the main one that we always talk about, and by always I mean just because we just talk about it.
Why wouldn't you?
We just talk about it. Is Martyrs? Jesus, it's a film called Martyrs, which is, to be quite honest, one of my favorite movies ever made. I think it's incredible.
I will say when I watched it, and that's another thing about the French horror is that it almost tricks you into believing it's not horror.
Yeah, it just becomes a drama that just happens to have monsters.
To have horrible things happening in it. Because in that movie, like, it's just this horrible drama about what's happening to these women. And, like, towards the end, it just, like, really opens up a fucking vein and just lets out all this horrible blood.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's a certain there's a certain, I don't want to say meanness, but there's almost a purpose to this movie. Does that make any sense? Like it fit the movie Martyrs. It's directed by a guy named Pascal Lausier. Yeah, Lausier. I'm fairly sure. I should have looked up all these pronunciations before I even did this. I looked up Fulci because I didn't want to look like a fucking idiot.
I saw
and
it.
now I look like a fucking idiot
Because you mentioned
because I mentioned the fact that I did it. Ha! But it's on the DVD. You can watch it with an introduction to the film, and it's Pascal Lausier talking about his movie, and he's like, I don't think you should watch this. He's like, I don't know. He's like, he goes, I don't know why you'd want to watch this, but he's like, it just kind of came out of me, and like you see that he feels very personal about it, and the movie itself feels insanely personal, and like I've had a different reaction every time I've watched it. First time I watched it, it scared the living shit out of me.
I was very unnerved.
It's scary.
I don't know if it's scary.
The plot of the film, the plot of the film, without going into heavy spoilers, is a little girl is locked away in a room, and every day systematically and coldly brutalized and punished.
Yeah, tortured.
And one day she escapes. And then she grows up and she starts to live a somewhat normal life, and it's her trying to find the people that did this to her, and it's the whole movie's about that. Without actually spoiling the movie's about that. Every time I watch the movie, I have a different reaction. The first time I watched it, I was scared shitless of it. It's just because it's so nerve-wracking, and you literally have no idea what's going to happen at any point in time in the movie, ever. Mm-hmm. There's never a point in time where he lets you catch your breath, or even the lulls in the movie are not lulls. Or even like the slow parts of the film are still super wrought with fucking tension. Yeah. Second time I watched the movie, I just thought it was beautiful. Yeah. I had a very profound and moving reaction to it, to where I just was reacting to it being beautiful and it being a beautiful story. Third time I watched it, I cried.
The fourth time you'll masturbate.
But yeah, that's
that's the cycle.
I'm trying to think if I've watched it more than 4 times. I'm pretty sure I have. I don't think I've jerked off during it though.
I watched. You mentioned that. I'll mention the one that I recently watched. I watched it today. Actually.
Yeah.
I finished watching it today. The Horde.
Mm-hmm. Which I still need to fucking see.
Which is basically, and one of our listeners is the one that suggested it to me, Tommy. He told me about it, and he was like, I was like, is it good? He's like, it's really good. He's like, fucked up. He's like, but it's good. And I was like, all right, cool.
Because didn't you say it's like a crime drama that just happens to have zombies in it?
No, yeah, it's a super cop drama that, like, it literally, like, it's trying to tell you a story, and then zombies interrupt. Like, that's literally what happens. They're telling this horrible... And that's another thing.
Is it like a robbery gone wrong? Like, what?
No, it's what it is that the build-up is this cop's been murdered. Mm. So, all his other buddy cops, like, there's like 5 of them. There's a girl and, like, 3 dudes. They go to the crime lord or whatever, the bad guy's hideout, to fuck him up.
Yeah.
Like, they go there and they're like, this is not... He's like, we didn't come here to do this. Like, this is exactly why we came here. We came here for a fucking bloodbath. And like
zombies show up.
They go up there with fucking shotguns, gonna kill everybody.
God damn.
Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but shit goes wrong, and they get, like, they all get trapped together, and then zombies show up. And
so awesome.
And I was telling Justin before, it has 2 Harvey Keitel characters from different ages, like Bad Lieutenant Harvey Keitel, and like the Harvey Keitel now where he's kind of chubby. And
Red Dragon Harvey Keitel.
Exactly. Like, it's those 2 Harvey Keitels are in the same movie.
Crisis on Infinite Keitels. I'll write the shit out of that fan fiction.
That movie reeks of horror, of French horror movie. Like, it just reeks.
Yeah.
Because it's super, super dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these people are having to go through the most horrendous human drama and zombies.
That actually, because I just looked down at my notes, and there's another French horror film, Frontiers, which you haven't seen, and I failed you as a friend because I need to. The log line of this movie is how I pitch this movie to people. It's the French Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Nazis.
Oh,
That's the best possible explanation. And that movie, like you said. It's almost like the French make horror films, but they don't ever want to tell people that they're horror films, so they start them out as like dense dramas. Because this movie begins with a bunch of kids fleeing from a riot that they've started. Like they incited a riot, and they're like the police are rounding up all these hoodlums that have rioted. So they fuck off to the country. Mm-hmm. And they stay at a cabin, or they stay at like a fucking like a B&E that happens to be run by a Nazi family, like an inbred Nazi, like neo-Nazi family. And it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like they systematically get picked off one by one, and it's. I don't want to say that it's a conventional slasher because it's anything but it's very much like a by the numbers, like some kids go to a fucking place, they die. It
pissed me off because it was taken off of Instant Queue.
Mm-hmm.
I had it on my Instant Queue and I never got around to watching it, and then it got taken down. But yeah, like the French just seem to want to not fuck with you, but like. They
want to tell you stories that stick with you.
Yeah, like...
They're not going for cheap scares.
Nearly every single French horror movie I've watched so far has really just dug its fucking...
They really have, and because there are a bunch that... these 3 in particular are solely because they're the only ones that are coming to mind right now, but I think about them constantly.
There's not a tremendous amount of French horror movies. But...
I'm sure there is, but I'm sure that... Oh my god, Inside! Have you seen Inside? Inside's French. God damn it, Inside is rough! Inside is a movie that it's about a woman, she's 8 months pregnant. She's very pregnant. Very, very pregnant. And the entire movie is her under siege from this crazy woman that wants to cut that baby out of her and have it for her own. That's the entire movie. It's 98 minutes of this crazy woman trying to cut a baby out of a woman. The French! I don't understand. What happened to them? The French Revolution, probably. That explains a lot.
Their definition of humane being
and Grand Guignol, they're so. Because in High Tension there are arterial sprays of blood, like Kill Bill level sprays of blood.
And I've noticed it online. A lot of people are pinning this has become so aware that it's now a movement. This is a film movement. What the French are doing right now, people are calling it a movement. Or, the new wave of French horror. Because there's so many horror films coming out of France right now, and they're so profoundly fucked up.
Is Von Trier French?
I think he's Dutch.
Yeah,
I
I think he is Dutch.
That sounds because I
I'm
know he's
talking
not,
about that screwy fucker.
because he's not, because that's not very French name at all.
I don't think he. I don't
Danish.
Danish.
Danish,
Okay, well
he's
that
from
makes a lot of
Denmark.
fucking sense too.
Goddamn cross.
I kind of want. I kind of want to devote an episode to Von Trier. I can't. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Cultists. We might do a Von Trier episode.
It's the Lars von Trierest episode ever.
Because if I can't, it'll be our Von Trier, the Von Trieriest Christmas ever. We'll do a Christmas episode about Von Trier.
Oh my god!
But okay.
Jesus, we should be locked up.
Enough with the French.
The French.
Because British. I want to talk about fucking Hammer now. I really want to talk about Hammer. For as awesome as Hammer was, the new Hammer has been flawless so far. Yeah. Of all the movies that I've seen in the newer, for those of you who don't know, Hammer Studios was in the 60s and 70s was a co-production with Paramount. And they made monster movies. They made scary movies, and the most famous of which being the Christopher Lee Dracula movies and the Peter Cushing Frankenstein movies. They also did the Quatermass Experiment.
That was the first one.
Was Quatermass the first one? I thought that it was. If it
Experiment.
Yeah.
It had no E. It was
God damn it! That's so awesome.
No, that was their first movie, and then they started making. Then it was
Dracula AD 1972.
Right after that, they made Dracula, and right after that, they made
Frankenstein.
God damn it! Like it was right back after back. But I wrote them down because they made Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
The movie is called Dracula. In America, it's called The Horror of Dracula. Because there was literally like 4 movies that were named Dracula. But it's amazing. Like literally,
it really is.
Like to this day, I'll stand by the fact that nobody does Dracula better than Christopher Lee.
I'll agree with that.
Flawless.
God damn it, he's
because
so great.
He's so, and like the first thing I noticed when I first watched him is that his Dracula is fast on his
yeah,
because like he's like, "Good evening, Mr. Harker," and he's like, "Oh, hello, Count Dracula," and this motherfucker is flying down the steps, and when he gets Jonathan Harker, he turns around to take him back upstairs, and Christopher Lee's taking him steps like 3 at a time. Like big fucking gates, like he's just romping up them stairs.
And the third act of Horror of Dracula is a literal chase through Castle Dracula. It's the group trying to kill Dracula,
Peter Cushing,
and it's just them. It's Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee sprinting through these sets,
being hard asses.
Oh, God damn, it's so great! It's like high adventure Dracula. Like that's one of the main reasons that I love the Hammer Draculas a little bit more than because it's like it's super vibrant and fun and
because in the new one, the Dracula AD 1972, which is
my
great.
Personal favorite.
It's fucking great.
That one actually, that really might be my personal favorite.
It actually might be mine too, because it has the like super mod Brits, and it has
Johnny Alucard is the main character.
And
he's a swinging '60s Brit,
and it has Dracula, and at the very beginning you get to see.
Previously on
Van Helsing in full Van, or Peter Cushing in full Van Helsing gear, stabbing Dracula with a wheel spoke.
I forgot about that. Oh my god!
After the carriage crashes, he takes a broken wheel spoke and stabs him through the chest.
Hammer. Nothing but gold.
Hits.
Oh god! And the Frankenstein movies are also really great.
And it was really awesome for me to see them, Christopher Lee doing a monster, like a silent monster.
Yeah.
But the thing that I think I'm gonna touch on this and then run away from it, but the fact, like, their history together is literally the most adorable thing on earth.
Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. Oh, I shipped the shit out of it.
We're like super.
They're buds. They're like BFFs.
He was like there was always somebody, and because Christopher Lee said it after Peter Cushing died. He said there was always somebody in your life that no matter, you knew that as soon as they called, as soon as they called you on the phone and you heard them laugh, that you knew who they were. And which made me think that Peter Cushing would call Christopher Lee and just as soon as he answered, give this maniacal
cackle.
And I was like, that is the most adorable thing on the planet.
Yeah, they're great movies. Every single one of them are, because you have that like big pack of all of them.
Yeah, I have, and that was another thing that was super awesome about Hammer movies, is that
the pack that I have. The
kind of thrillers, but I'm talking about the tits, the vampire lovers.
Oh yeah, they did tit flicks.
Countess, yeah. Right? Like the fucking
they did skin flicks. Goddamn, what was her name?
Slashers.
The main chick that Ingrid Pitt. Ingrid Pitt and her sweet ass rack. Oh my god, worth the price of admission itself.
Goddess.
Let's go on to something. Let's end with a super screwy note for the last bit of our the episode. Asians. Let's start talking about some Asian horror. Let's talk about some Maiki. First, for those of you who don't know, I'm talking about Takeshi Maiki, who's a Korean. I think he's Korean. I'm fairly sure he's Korean, or I'm just being racist. He's Asian horror film, or he's an Asian director who kind of made his mark making horror films. He made 2 mammoth horror films. I don't know if I'd call Ichi the Killer a horror film. That's more of a Yakuza film that just happens to be screwy as all balls. But Audition, I think, is a perfect horror film. It has a very taut structure that forces you to watch. Audition is a film about a man who's looking for a wife, and his friend kind of persuades him to
it's like a dating video.
They're
auditioning.
They're auditioning people because they're entertainment executives, and so he's like, "Hey, have an audition. You might be able." It was like, "We can cast a girl, and then you can get a wife." Blah blah blah. And of course, he hooks a Crazy Town Banana Pants.
Super.
And it's a Hitchcock movie. It's basically a Hitchcock movie. It's a very taut, slow burn of a thriller that it still gives me fucking goosebumps. The bag in the apartment, the fucking the dance studio scenes, like it's just unnerving as all shit. And I'm glad that we're ending with Asians when we began with Italian horror, because Asian horror films kind of carried on the style first, but it was more of a frantic kind of
stylized, like
it was like a hyper stylized, like they took it to the absolute. They take it to the absolute extreme, where Italians kind of just flirted at that notion. They did it because kind of a full cheese horror, or a full cheese zombie is pretty gory, and Demons is pretty gory, but nobody spreads the red like Asians.
Yeah,
they because fucking
Tokyo Gore.
Tokyo Gore Police is just nuts. It's
literally
it's a Gore video.
It's fucking insane. For anybody out there, though, if you watch any Japanese movie, any Japanese horror movie in particular, do not do dubbing.
Oh, you don't like dubs?
I do not like the dubs.
Sometimes it's really good.
See, and that's just it. If you want to have a laugh, I'll put on the dub. But like when I was
dub of Old Boy is really good. The English dub of Old Boy is quite good.
Yeah.
Though I do tell people to watch the dub of Ichi the Killer because it's all British people. For some reason, it's like four or five British dudes, because some voices that some of the guys that are playing like toughs and like heavies are doing the voice of like kids. Oh god, it's so fucking funny. It adds just to the lunacy of that movie.
See, like when I first watched Tokyo Gore Police, I wanted to go into it trying to believe it was a real movie. Like I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And it completely gets ruined by the dubbing, because they had this one woman doing the dubbing, and I guarantee you this chick did dubbing for anime.
Yeah.
Because she was...
Oh, God, that's the worst.
And it took me right out. And I went right back to the menu.
Uh-huh.
And I switched it over to where it just had the subtitles. And, like, immediately the movie just got better. But, like all of the, like, that whole movie, though, was just, like, after I watched it, I'm not gonna lie, I had a nightmare. I told you about it.
Tokyo Gore Police?
Yeah, I had a nightmare that starred,
Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta.
You're the Ray... Oh, god damn it! I forgot this was the Ray Liotta dream!
Yeah,
Please tell the Ray Liotta
I
dream
had a
story.
nightmare where I was driving around, and they were like, hey, we gotta go. We gotta go to the underground. And I was like, okay. So we go to this underground, and it's like a hollowed-out tunnel. Like, imagine the beginning of Gangs of New York.
Yeah.
Like the underbelly of New York. It's kind of like that.
Setting the scene.
Like a little rougher, like
yeah.
stones in the wall.
God damn, this is one of my favorite stories of
and
yours.
I'm walking, and there's just like a whole shitload of people, and they're like, and I walk up, and there's Ray Liotta in like a beat up, like long coat, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And he's like, this is my world, this is my people, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, well, what are you...
Okay, I like that you're super like, oh, okay, hey, Ray Liotta, hey, Ray Liotta. You were great in Smoking Aces.
And he was like, he's like, you people don't realize what we do down here. And I was like, what do you do down here? He's like, we protect you from the numbers. And I was like, what? And then all of a sudden, I hear a screaming, and I look further into the tunnel, and there's like this glowing light, and there's just bodies getting thrown across and like up on the walls and like smashing like rag dolls. I'm like, what the fuck? And all of a sudden this beast comes walking out, and it fills up the cavern. It's so big. And it's like, it's walking on its forearms like a gorilla, and it's made out of fire. And it's got the number 7 written on its forehead. And somehow I had this inane wisdom that there are a number of beasts in the earth, and that they range from whatever number up to 1. And number 7 was getting out. And it was up to Ray Liotta to put that fucker back in the hole. And
didn't you say that in his dream, like, or in this dream, you see the bodies, you turn up, and you hear Ray Liotta go, God damn it, it's a fire monster!
Yeah, he's basically like, we gotta get this son of a bitch! And he, like, runs at him with, like, guns. Him and his boys, him and his posse, running this fire beast.
Him and his Rain of Fire crew, protecting the subterranean. Well, like, it's the opposite side of that coin going... back to Asian horror films, is that for how screwy they are and how kind of over the top and monsters that they are, because like for every Tetsuo the Bullet Man, you get a Thirst, because Thirst is an incredibly beautiful, slow moving kind of quiet film that just happens to be kind of horrifying at times. Thirst is a movie about it's a priest who he undergoes a blood transfusion and he becomes a vampire, and that's the movie. It's just this really beautiful Fellini film about a vampire. It's beautiful that such a culture's capable of something like that. Not saying that they're not capable of something like that, but just the fact that they can do something like Tokyo Gore Police and then make Thirst.
Yeah. Well, and I'm trying to think, there was another one that I was trying to think of that was one of those that was super, like it was super just touching, and it was, oh no, it was another country. Never mind.
Let the Right One In.
Yeah.
You thinking Let the Right One In? Yeah, it's I completely spaced on it, but we should talk about Let the Right One In. Let the Right One In is beautiful.
Yeah,
it's
literally one of the most gorgeous movies I've ever seen.
It's like a haunting poem of a movie. That was one of the first foreign horror films that I really got it. That really was like, oh shit, this is something I need to be paying attention to.
Yeah, I wanted to watch. Like I watched that, and like it literally, like it shook me. Like it fucked my head up for the longest time, and like it's just the subtlety of that movie, the subtlety of the horror of that movie.
Because it's a very chilling movie at times.
Yeah.
Like it's a very off-putting and very creepy movie. But I think genuinely the reason that I didn't even think about to talk about it, because I didn't even write it down, just because I think of it as such a beautiful kids movie. Like that's really odd to say, but like every time I watch it, I'm always just struck. Well, it's because also we're Let the Right One In is a movie about a little boy befriends a little girl vampire, and it's their relationship.
And it's the most precious.
It really is. It's this adorable, like very moving friendship between these two kids. One of which just happens to be an ancient killing machine.
And she does.
Yeah, the thing say it's very brutal. Like the remake is really, the Hammer remake is really great too. I really like Let Me In.
I'll touch on this. Are we done with the Japanese, Asian?
We've covered everything that I wanted to cover.
Okay, I'll touch on this one, and on a high note, I guess. Dead Snow.
Oh, Jesus, those crazy fucking Swedes.
Norwegian.
No, Norwegians. God damn it.
It's the area.
Yeah.
That movie, like, literally has the build-up of, like, the perfect 80s horror movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's the most clandestine, like, it's so cookie-cutter horror movie.
Because once again, it's kids go to a cabin.
Kids go to a cabin in the middle of the woods. Something happens.
They're there only to fuck, drink, and ski.
Fuck, drink, and ski. That's it. That's all they went up there to do.
And then horrors happen.
Something happens, and a whole army of undead Nazis awakens.
God damn it, that movie's so fun. That movie has one of the best third act zingers I've ever. You know,
I literally cackled like a
so
hag.
fucking funny. That's the episode.
Yeah,
Guy. That's Jesus. There are a couple of just random movies that I want to throw out at the very end that I think people should see. We mentioned Tetsuo the Bullet Man. It's an acid trip of a fucking movie. It's a really great movie, and it needs to be. Whoa, what do you got?
Actually, yeah, I was gonna mention it. I'll see if I can find it. It's Asian, and I don't want to say. It's deep blue, I think. I don't know. I'm looking.
Perfect Blue.
Perfect.
The anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh my god.
Oh Jesus, it's awesome. It's another like Hitchcockian.
Yeah, it's
psycho noir.
It's super fucking dark. I honestly wish that I had it on DVD.
I own it. Do you want to borrow it?
No, I've watched it. It's one of those things that you.
Yeah. But okay, so Tetsuo the Bullet Man. We mentioned Tokyo Gore Police, which people should see. The Descent, which is an amazing British horror film.
Yeah.
Done by the dude who directed Dog Soldiers. Neil Marshall is another great British horror film. Frontiers we mentioned, High Tension we mentioned, the crowning jewel, House. There's a movie called House that was made in the 70s. It's a Japanese horror film. It's a Scooby-Doo episode. It's a live action, kind of creepy Scooby-Doo episode.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that's the episode. Done and dusted. Coming in a good time. Doing good. I'm really proud of this one. It's screwy, it's eclectic, but we talked about a bunch of really cool shit. Like we said before at the beginning of the show, top of the show, you can reach us at any point in time. We've been live tweeting during the show. Do we have anything? We probably don't.
I haven't been live tweeting. I got sidetracked.
That's we giving you quality radio is what we're giving you. Quality podcasting. But you can reach us at any point in time on Twitter at Alan Moore's Porch. You can also send us an email at any point in time. Questions, comments, hate mail, funny pictures, links to your Tumblr at alanmooresporch@gmail.com.
Did you delete some emails?
I deleted all of them because most of them were Twitter things.
There was some new ones in there.
Was there? Oh god,
yeah.
Did I screw?
I'm trying to remember what the fuck.
Not only did I ruin because the first time we tried to record this, I ruined it, and now I've ruined our email segments.
we do have a question, and it's from someone that we didn't pay. So
awesome.
I'm trying to fucking think of that other question though. It was from Stephanie.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot remember what she asked.
She sent us a Gangnam Style fucking...
Oh my god, that nutty bitch! Oh my
Gangnam
god!
Style video.
You
guys have probably... This is the first time I've seen it, but it's apparently been viral for a while. She just sent us a video of the Gangnam Style fucking... And I watched it. I watched the entire thing.
Yeah.
Because it was hilarious.
It's literally... Because she asked...
I want to end the show with it.
The question that she asked was, how could a nation that made Tale of Two Sisters, which is a haunting...
A very awesome ghost story.
How could the nation that made that make this? And then
Somebody
she inset the video. But she put... Oh, God damn it, because I wish I knew what she said. Because the whatchamacallit, the...
Subject line?
Subject line of the thing was like, how to increase your ball size or something. Like, it was something very, very...
It was Asian whores. She'd put Asian whores.
And she was like, if this doesn't go to your spam, Gmail is slacking off.
But I honestly, somebody actually did have an amazing... I can't remember who it was, so I can't properly cite them. But this isn't me. Like, I didn't have this thought, so I can't... I can't take advantage of how brilliant it is. But they said that is probably due to the fact that Japan and China completely culturally isolated themselves for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, and so they only stewed within their own juices to make their culture. Like they barely traveled, no one traveled there, and so they just they made this like a beautiful culture, and so they do shit like that all the time. There are still things about Japanese culture that I just boggle my mind.
Yeah.
That I can't at any possible time try to explain.
Like all the fucking cults they have. Oh my god! I watched Andrew Zimmerman, Bizarre Foods, the other day.
Yeah. And
he was in Japan. He was in Tokyo, Kyoto. He was going up and down the fucking island.
Yeah.
And he went into a place, and I forgot what he called it. It was like Mayo Kitty or something. And he was like, it's a whole restaurant that's centralized on mayonnaise. He's like, I am not kidding you. There was mayonnaise fondue. And it was so funny because the whole time he was there, he was like he had the whole spread.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, it was mayonnaise fondue. He's like, that's horrible. That's just god awful. He's like, it's just warm mayonnaise. And then there was another one, and it was like mayonnaise with something, like some bacon or some weird fucking food. And he's like, that makes a little bit more sense. He's like, it's not
great, but...
And he was like, but I want to make the full circle. I want to go, and I want to hit it before. I want to hit my mayo milkshake before it goes cold.
God.
And oh my god, like it was and he sucked it. He was like, oh god, that tastes. He's like, this tastes exactly how it sounds.
Oh god, that's
And
horrible.
then he also had like fucking ice creams that were just gross.
Ugh. But okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Japanese are weird.
Thesis. They're
Japanese
just
are
strange because they hung out with themselves for hundreds of years.
Anyway, another question. This is from. I'm literally at a loss. Like I'm honestly surprised we didn't pay this person.
I am too. What's the question?
Okay, it's from Christina.
Uh-huh.
Thoughts on the Swedish version of Let the Right One In? That's considered horror, right? Did I just give you guys an in to make fun of me? Well, it was scary to me, also sort of sweet. The American remake seemed to try and make it mostly scary and not as sweet. Sorry, I do not have a lot of insight on foreign horror, but I'm trying to participate. Love you for doing
That's
that.
awesome. That's all we want. We love and adore our
fan base.
Our very minuscule fan base. No, I did, like I said before, it's a beautiful film. The American remake did kind of, it inched more towards horror. It was still sweet, and I still was invested in the story.
Yeah. See, and that's what, I haven't seen the new one, but I remember seeing the first one, and I agree with her. And like we mentioned earlier, it was really, really scary at points, but it was overall, to me, it was just really, really sweet. It's just a really touching film.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful movie.
But yeah, and I think that was more, I think what she asked and what she kind of brings up to focus is what Americans do, as opposed to what all the other nations do. All the other nations try and tell an awesome story and then kind of throw in some horror, whereas Americans have kind of taken
we aim directly for the scares.
Exactly. We like Saw, the whole movie of Saw. Actually, I think that was Australian, kind of, wasn't it? Because the guys that made it, I thought, were Australian. Anyway.
Right. Thank you, though, for that's a great question.
Amazing question. We have another question.
Bring it.
Let me see if I can pull it up here real quick.
Chevy Chase noises.
Okay. Oh, this kind of ties into what we were just asking.
Yeah.
Derek asked, "I've only watched a few foreign horror films, but do you think our culture has gotten too sensitive to do really gory movies as compared to, say, the Japanese?" Oh, wackadoo. Japanese.
Yeah, I think so. There's a certain shyness from gore in American horror nowadays.
I don't think that's directly. I think it's more of what the majority feels. Because you can't say shit on TV, or you can't say fuck on radio on the TV. But in Britain they say it all the time.
Yeah.
I think American audiences are too sensitive now.
Yeah, they
might be being reawakened now, but I don't know.
Yeah, but it's always been such not a condemnation of violence in films. Movies are always way too violent. So there's always too much sex on TV. Yeah, and a lot of other countries don't give a shit.
Yeah,
they really don't care at all. It's all more about they don't. It's more of a creative backed
atmosphere.
Yeah, and there are some awesome examples of that happening in America, but for the most part, it doesn't happen, and it. Yeah, I just yeah.
This is sent at 12:51. God damn it! Yes, I'm really excited that we're getting actual fans that don't know us.
Oh, really? We have.
Do you know this?
We have another one?
No, I was looking at the first girl. Do you know who that person is?
No.
I don't fucking either.
That's so
God
awesome.
damn it! I'm happy.
Yeah, that's so great.
Oh, okay. And I don't know who this Derek was, but he didn't have a
thing, an avatar
or a picture.
Yeah. So, episode 3 done, dusted, in the can. thank you guys so much. New fans, old fans, and I don't. I can't
Everyone in between.
Yeah, everyone, newcomers. We love you all. Thank you guys so much for indulging us in this another kind of long episode. But you know what? Fuck it. It's great radio.
Yeah, what is it?
From myself, Jay Porch is the third, my stalwart co-host, Rocky Turner. We bid you all a fond good night.
오빤 강남스타일 강남스타일 오빤 강남스타일 강남스타일 오빤 강남스타일 에이 섹시 레이디 오빤 강남스타일 에이 섹시 레이디 정숙해 보이지만 놀 땐 노는 여자 이때다 싶으면 묶었던 머리 푸는 여자 가렸지만 웬만한 노출보다 야한 여자 그런 감각적인 여자 나는 선어해 점잖아 보이지만 놀 땐 노는 선어해 내가 되면 완전 미쳐버리는 선어해 근육보다 사상이 울퉁불퉁한 선어해 그런 선어해 아름다워 사랑스러워 그래 너 그래 바로 너 아름다워 사랑스러워 그래 너 그래 바로 너 지금부터 갈 때까지 가볼까 오빤 강남스타일